George Rose, massive turnout today at the press conference, mate. How do you sort of reflect on the vibe up there, man?
Yeah, look, I think the whole week has been a real vibe, and when you get that many people, that much media turn up for a press conference like today, you know that it's that real big fight feel, that big fight vibe, and mate, they're all on. Every one of them fighters are switched on. This is going to be a hell of an undercard, and that main event fight, I honestly think it could be one of the fights of the year.
Bit of drama there with the co-main and the weight limits. Can you sort of clarify the back and forth and what exactly went on in that situation, George?
Yeah, look, a bit went back and forth about what the weight was going to be. It was initially 130. We've landed on 133. When it was put to Team Wilson said, I don't give a stuff. I want the fight. I want to fight him. I don't care what it is. They didn't care about 133, 130, whatever. They were ready to fight. So Team Fulton was happy with 133. Team Wilson didn't give a stuff where we're at. He just wants to fight. So we made it happen.
What about the back and forth between Errol Spence and Tim Tszyu today? Errol seemed to take objection to Tim Tszyu saying he's here for a cash grab. Any response to that?
Yeah, look, I think Errol is one of the greatest competitors that we've seen in boxing. So I could understand him, taking offence to that, because he's a guy who loves to compete. He's got that confidence. He's got that ego. He's got that bravado about him, and he's a guy who steps in the ring to entertain and to demolish anything that's in front of him. So I know that's the attitude that he's got, and that's probably why he's taken offence to it. But he's fighting a bigger Tim Tszyu. This is Tim Tszyu at 160. This is a Tim Tszyu that none of us have seen before. So it'll be very interesting.
What do you make of the betting odds in this fight, George? Errol Spence is a slight favourite for this one. Does that surprise you, or what do you make of those odds?
Well, look, the last time that Errol Spence stepped into the ring, he stepped in as a 3-belt unified champion, a top 5 pound-for-pound king. So he stepped in with all of the momentum in his favour. The only guy who beat him was Terence Crawford. And you could arguably say that Errol Spence was very much off that night. I don't think it was the Errol that we'd seen in previous fights. So Errol Spence is one hell of a fighter. You've got to give him that respect. You've got to give him that credit. I think for Australian punters, they're fucking rubbing their hands looking at this. Australian punters have never had Tim Tszyu as an underdog in their life. So I've got no doubt that there's a lot of Aussie punters out there that are stoked that they're finally get Timmy at decent odds, and they'll be getting behind him and they'll be celebrating come Sunday Arvo.
At what point in this fight will you know if Errol is what he was and if Tim is what he was? How many rounds is it going to take for us to know what we've got in this fight?
I think it's one round. I think knowing how Errol fights and how Tim fights, I think by the first round we'll know what we've got on our hands, and I think that it's a blessing. Like the last time Errol walked out, I was sitting there in the crowd. We were sitting ringside with Mike Tyson, so it was a cool experience to be there, watch him walk out. Big X the Plug walking him out. It was a really cool event, and the Errol that we saw there, I don't think was the Errol that we've known and watched over the years, and we'll know when that bell rings on Sunday and they meet in the centre of the ring. We'll know pretty quick what we're going to expect, because I know Tim Tszyu is coming to win. He's coming to win. He's putting all of it into this is the biggest fight that he's ever had in his career against the biggest opponent he's ever faced. So he's bringing everything, and I think that we can expect by round 1, round 2 at the latest, we'll know what we're in for, and we'll all be on the edge of our seat for however long it lasts.
Who's got more pressure on them in this fight, George? Errol Spence or Tim Tszyu?
Look, that's probably a good question. I think you'd have to ask either of them, but I feel like coming into this fight, both of them feel confident and relaxed. I don't feel like they're feeling pressure. I feel like they've both already taken the hits. Like Errol copped so much after the Crawford loss, and Tim's copped so much after his world title losses. So they've both already taken the hits in the past. I don't think coming into this fight, I don't think they're feeling pressure. I think they're if anything, they're feeling the excitement of being part of a big show again, of being able to perform for everyone watching across the globe. So I don't think they're feeling pressure. I think the big thing is for when the winner's announced at the end of it is what's next for them, because Errol's hinted at whether he's going to do anything after it, and Tim, I know confidently wants to run through the rest of them that are out there. There's so many great fights out there for Tim. So when Tim is announcing a winner on Sunday, I think the big question is who's next.
There we go. All right. Appreciate it, George.
Thank you.